Yeah.
But Bill Cosby was like put on this pedestal, and then Richard Pryor was kind of like, because I bet you Bill Cosby looked at Richard Pryor. I know that like Richard Pryor.
Oh, he looked down on him. He looked down on him.
Yeah. And supposedly Richard Pryor in his early days was doing a Bill Cosby impression, like he was more wholesome.
Yeah.
And then after he realized he wasn't going to make it like that, he kind of switched it up and just harkened back to his like raised in a brothel roots type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, for all the success, successes that Richard Pryor had, it's like he was obviously a very tormented soul. You know, had a whole bunch of issues with his sexuality and with drug use and with violence and all that shit, right? And these were things that were there was a lot less sympathy for somebody. Like it was much more back then. It was engaged with more as like a spectacle, like, oh, when is it all going to fall apart? You know what I'm saying? Like you're witnessing greatness and shit. You're witnessing something that's like a madman. Whereas Bill Cosby was more reflective of the general values that people had. And to me, I still would consider it's. I mean, I think at a certain point it comes down to what your preferences and what your tastes are. To me, I don't personally think that Bill Cosby is necessarily better than Richard Pryor. He's a better technical performer in that he's much more consistent because his personality and his content and all that shit lends to that. But Richard Pryor, for all the high
color, but Richard
Mm-hmm.
Pryor was a better social commentator.
Well, I mean, social commentary, but also, he was just super. He was also just saying shit, kind of like George Carlin. Like George Carlin, like 7 words. Like George Carlin made a lot of great. What's going on, Sabir? I mean, George Carlin made a lot of great, socio-political commentary and observations, but also a bit of his whole shtick was just being very offensive and being very blue, as they say, playing very blue and just being very vulgar, being very crass, and just saying shit to get that shock value, being edgy, basically.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the same thing with Pryor. And then it's like you give the people what they want, so that way you can feed them something that they need, kind of thing. Because they both took inspiration from Lenny Bruce, who was just all vulgarity, basically.
Yeah.
So let me just go out here and just say every derogatory thing I can, just cause. And it's like, yeah, that was important ground to break. But like, hell, you even listen to like Rogan and other comics of today, be like, yeah, I mean, he wasn't really all that funny. It was just, it wasn't all that engaging. Lenny Bruce. No, Lenny Bruce.
Oh, Lenny Bruce. Right.
Yeah, that Lenny Bruce's shit really wasn't all that entertaining, but that it was something that had to happen to help push for that creative expression and freedom of performance.
Away by just saying fuck the rules as we know them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, exactly. But to me, it's like technically, Bill Cosby is the best. Is the best of them. He's the most consistent. He has the best form. But in terms of what speaks to you, I mean, that's going to vary on each person. Because honestly, my favorite comedian of all time is my favorite comedian as of yet is Patrice O'Neal, and then after that, I would say it's I wouldn't even say Dave Chappelle. I would say it's actually Tim Dillon.
Okay.
I just really like, I love Tim Dillon. And the thing is that, like, nobody's 100% all the time, and nobody says.
Hey, Expression joined us.
It was going on, Expression. And the thing is, nobody's ever going to say shit that you always 100% agree with. But listening to them speak, even when they make offhanded topics or observations or just commentary about their own life, the way that they observe things, it also just kind of like speaks to a certain like.
We should see.
Yeah, I would say to round out my top 3, and I do kind of feel shitty not having a woman immediately come to mind, even though there are plenty of hilarious women that I've met, or there are plenty of hilarious women entertainers. It's just the ones who speak to me the most is, I would say, Patrice O'Neal, then Tim Dillon, then Bill Burr. And of course, Bill Burr is like, Bill Burr was one of Patrice O'Neal's great friends, and so. He's in a way he's kind of carrying the torch of that style and that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill Burr, I would say, is in my top 5 easily.
Mm-hmm.
Silicon Valley. I met Bill Burr too, actually, at the Irvine Improv.
Oh yeah, how was that?
But
How was that interaction?
very interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of fucked up in some ways because I wanted to give him something. He plays drums, right? I play drums.
Yeah.
I actually got him some because I heard that he liked Questlove.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
him some Questlove signature sticks, and I got him a copy of Led Zeppelin 4 on vinyl.
Okay.
And I gave it to somebody. I want to say it was like his manager or something, but and then on the way out when he was leaving, I went up to him like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like, you did a great job, or whatever. I just wanted to say, like, enjoy that record, or whatever. Like, in a way, I wanted credit for giving it to him, and
Yeah.
I
Or,
should have
yeah.
done that. That was kind of a dick move, but my friend who was supposed to be my friend, who was another drink runner at the Improv, he cut me off in the middle of it, and he goes, "Hey man, you're supposed to be making friends with the comedians. Like, get back to work, basically." And then
Oh
Bill
no.
was kind of like, "All right, man, see ya. Like, I gotta go." Like, he was basically literally gonna fly out of there because he flies
Yeah.
helicopters.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and then I could tell he was kind of chuckling about it, just kind of like, kind of
Yeah.
gave me the salute, like, "See ya." But I mean, I
Damn,
could look back at it and laugh, but at the time, I was fucking furious at my friend because Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians, and I literally went out of my way to like give him a gift. But you're not supposed to do that when you're working there. It's like it's not kosher to be an employee giving one of the headliners a gift.
Man, fuck that shit. It'd be one thing if you was like it'd be one thing if you was one of the amateurs that night or whatever, and you was obviously trying to like get on his dick. I was gonna be like, was you gonna ash that? Like that was a pretty big ash. But no. But it's like if you're just there like as a worker bee and shit, like no, I would love that because the thing is, and here's the thing, right? With all entertainment and all this shit, right? Is even though I'm not somebody who normally gets like who really gets like starstruck and oh my god, I have to meet the celebrity and everything. I understand that so many people cling to entertainment and shit in these social figures, these media figures, because their lives are filled with crushing anguish and quiet desperation. So
Yeah.
so when somebody is like a worker or whatever, and they want to come up and be like, oh, I heard you're into this. Oh, I'd love to give you that. I'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, thank you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just so they know that they have a connection, that somebody else out there that they respect and that they think expresses their values and what they would aspire to, and they just want to show that.
Yeah.
Like your friend, that was a really shitty move by your friend.
It was, but in a way, he was right because we're in the thick of it on a Saturday night, and for me to go out of my way to say what's up to Bill Burr, he's thinking I'm over here running drinks, and you're rubbing elbows with the talent. But
yeah.
But obviously, it was a little bit different because I had just given him a gift. But
Yeah.
in some ways, the gift should have just been an anonymous gift, like, "Hey, I respect what you do," or "I appreciate you," whatever. And I know you would like this.
Yeah.
But he ended up kind of shouting me out in a way on his podcast the next day, actually, and kind of just being like, "Thank you. Someone gave me this gift at the Improv or whatever." Obviously, he didn't know my name or anything.